What's up, everybody? I'm Sydnee Goodman, and in today's Daily Fix, Cyberpunk's being investigated, Batman Arkham's combat system redesign, and Ghost of Tsushima fans doing some good. Roll the thing. Just a single day after the month anniversary of its launch, Cyberpunk 2077 is now being investigated. If you've been following along, this isn't exactly a surprise. Zynik Gazeta Prana reports that UOKick, Poland's Office of Competition and Consumer Protection, is looking into confusion around the game's launch and has asked CD Projekt Red for an explanation. Welcome to the party. It seems what's specifically being looked at is Cyberpunk's ongoing development and CDPR's approach to refunds. A UOKick spokesperson, translated by IGN Poland, explained that they're going to check how CDPR is, quote, working on patches or solving issues, preventing playing on various consoles, as well as, quote, what steps the company is planning to take regarding people who requested refunds and are not happy with their purchase because they can't play the game on owned hardware, despite assurances by the producer. Still stings to read that. UOKick is currently waiting for CDPR's explanation of the situation. I mean, I'd sure love to hear it as well. Because up to this point, no party has really owned up and taken responsibility for the situation. In terms of, was it the shareholders, executives, upper management? How did we get here? Hopefully CDPR's response to UOKick can give some clarity, but I wouldn't hold our breath. I'd imagine they're not going to be naming names. UOKick could choose to go a few routes after CDPR responds. It could fine the company up to 10% of its income for the last financial year, or according to the original report, UOKick could ask the dev to issue digital bonuses to folks who bought the game for last-gen consoles. It's not clear what that would mean for players outside of Poland, but it seems like even though CDPR offered refunds to players, it could still be seen as not enough for UOKick, and they could still face these consequences. Big yikes. This does not appear to be going away anytime soon, and I'm curious if the US's Bureau of Consumer Protection will jump into this mess. At the end of the day, though, I do think consumers were misled, especially with the last-gen ports, but even other platforms were pretty buggy. I have it on PC, and day one wasn't exactly a perfect player experience, and this is what these agencies are in place for, to hold businesses accountable and protect consumers. And now, for what's become my usual Cyberpunk news caveat, this sucks for everyone. Players who looked forward to Cyberpunk and devs who have worked on it, so please do not take this story as a good time to go after devs who likely had no power in making a lot of these decisions that have led us to where we are now. I'm rooting for a No Man's Sky-esque comeback. Holy Toledo, Batman! WB Games Montreal has revealed that Gotham Knights will have a similar feel to the Batman Arkham games, but that the combat has been entirely redesigned so that it works well for the game's focus on co-op. While speaking to Games Radar, WB Games Montreal talked about this change and how players will be able to expect more, quote, variety and challenge in the upcoming Gotham Knights. Executive producer of the game, Fleur Marty, assures us that it's, quote, still a brawler, but that, quote, it is in many ways very different. If you need a refresher, Gotham Knights features two-player online co-op and follows the story of Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and the Red Hood as they attempt to protect Gotham City after the fall of Batman. And even if you're planning on playing solo, don't worry. Story progression will be shared between all the characters, so you can switch to any hero without being underleveled. There's no exact release date quite yet, but Gotham Knights will be released on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC this year. In some wholesome news, Ghost of Tsushima fans helped contribute to the restoration of a real-life torii gate on the Japanese island of Tsushima. Reported by Silicon Era, a crowdfunding project to restore the gate at Wadasumi Shrine ended yesterday and raised over 27 million yen. And according to a Famitsu article, many Ghost of Tsushima fans rallied behind the funding drive, which helped it reach 542% of its initial 5 million yen target. The Wadasumi Shrine Gate had been partially destroyed by a typhoon in September 2020, and repairs should begin in April 2021. And that's Daily Fix. I'm Sydnee Goodman, and I hope your day is as awesome as you are. Now that you're all caught up on the news, if Cyberpunk's got you down, Grand Theft Auto 5 got a Cyberpunk PC mod, and we recorded gameplay of it, so check it out. Download the IGN app on all your mobile devices, subscribe to Daily Fix on Snapchat, and for all things everything else, IGN.com.